All right, so what I've decided to do since I don't have internet is I'm going to record the videos and then I'm just going to take them with me to a place that has internet and just upload them from my laptop so that way I can continue posting. Even though it's going to be an incredible pain in the rear, it's still better than not posting. So, congratulations to anyone that went out to a No Kings rally today. You're braver than me. I'm sure it would have been hilarious to see people wearing inflatable frog costumes. Fortunately, I have way too many things to do, but congratulations on those of you who did go. Uh, Thumbs up. And I also want to start with a little note today. So, in the past week, I have had more gripes coming from all around me about the senior manager. Like, absolutely. Last week, I had to tell one of the guys that he needs to stop talking crap. Like, he would not stop talking about how much it wasn't just dislike at that point, it was pure hatred. And I was just like listening to it, and I was listening to it from another coworker and another coworker and another coworker. And you're just like, doesn't anyone see this at McDonald's? I mean, is no one looking in that direction? I mean, the guy's just going to keep doing the same thing all day long, never changing, never caring, just puts his head down and just does the same thing while every person gripes. And you're just like, you know what? If no one's going to do anything, you just have to put up with the incompetence. It's just the way it is. It's unfortunate, but this happens at all McDonald's, all across the world, is that there's that one guy that just doesn't get it. But somehow he manages to hold on for another year. With that said, so I was watching Anonymous, and they were talking about various things that happened in Washington, including the ice sculpture that said democracy and the other statues. But while I was looking at that, there was another little icon in the bottom right hand of my screen that said, no one has a personality anymore. And the other day when I got home from work, I asked ChatGPT one simple question. What happens when you're a below average looking woman with high standards? ChatGPT was quick to reply. You will be alone for the rest of your life. And that can be said about anyone and any relationship you have. We all are working below average jobs. No one's making money working an hourly job right now. It's the unholy relationship you never wanted with your minimum wage job. And it's unfortunate. But walk into any hourly job in America, look at a person that's making 16 bucks an hour and tell me what kind of personality that person has. Then you look at what kind of relationships they can have. You don't have money to go out. You don't have money for a high quality relationship. You don't have money to drive a halfway decent car. This week, one of the office McDonald's workers handed me her keys to her jalopy and said, MillennialSteam, can you please save my car from the flood water? You guys wouldn't believe what it feels like to sit in a 25-year-old car. It felt awful. I mean, it just felt like I was in something that just wanted to explode. And that's what it's like to be in a low quality relationship with a person you're not physically attracted to, but this is all you can get. You sit down, there's a weird smell in there. You don't want to be seen by anyone. You cover your face anytime that you have to drive around in that car because it's ugly as sin, but you're stuck. It's the relationship you can afford, and it's the relationship none of us want. With that said, let's get into our opening monologue. Today's video is entitled Why Everyone Acts Like an NPC. So, you ever look around at work and realize everyone's just buffering? Like half the crew's running on caffeine fumes, unspoken depression, nodding through another team huddle about synergy while their souls leak out through their rear end. We've all become background characters in our own lives, scanning barcodes, smiling at managers who make double your rent, pretending this is fine. It's not burnout anymore. It's an NPC mode, and the whole damn system installed it. and the whole damn system installed it. I don't understand that, but yes, the entire system is based on how boring can our lives be. We don't. There's nothing exciting about being part of the proletariat. Why do you think there are people out there right now dancing in the streets? It's outrage. It's boredom. It's being in a cage. When you're making 16 bucks an hour, you're not really alive. You have to understand that you are a slave. You can pretend it's not true, but tell me, what was the last thing you ate? What was the last thing that you ate that tasted good? What was the last time you actually had fun? When was the last time you looked in your bank account and it didn't make you cry? I just got paid yesterday. Do you know how much I have left in my bank account? Close to zero. Everything comes out. All your bills come out. And you don't have a choice. I don't want to pay for anything. I don't want rent. I don't want car payments. I don't want insurance. I don't want credit cards. But guess what? You don't have a choice. Being alive is too expensive for the proletariat. And it always has been difficult, but never to the point where it was impossible. Today, living off a regular job is impossible. You can't make it. And the system designed it to be that way. The system wants you to be an NPC that doesn't question the cage that it puts you in, and the fact that it connects a tube right to your bank account and right to your rear end and pulls from both to the point where you have no soul and you have no money. Talking point number one. You ever notice how everyone's pretending they're fine on a minimum wage job while they're paying over $2,000 for monthly rent? We smile through it like it's normal, like debt is a personality trait and exhaustion is just part of the vibe. The real economy isn't built on innovation. It's built on your ability to fake being okay until payday. That's not true. You're not okay till payday. Payday has no meaning for the 99% anymore. You're not saving. You're not going on vacation. You're not going out to eat. You're eating garbage while you live a garbage lifestyle while you work at the garbage company. Pound Town is never going to give you one day of the things that you need. Financial stability, work stability, whether or not you're going to have a job tomorrow. At McDonald's, the firings have been coming hot and heavy to the point where no one has job security in America. No one. This week at Pound Town, it was announced that there are no raises this year. And you wonder, it's like year one, no raise. Year two, no raise. Year three, no raise. Year four, no raise. But you know what keeps rising? Inflation. And again, you're nuts in a vice grip. What are you supposed to do? There aren't any jobs out there. The only jobs that are out there are minimum wage. And an average person can't afford to make $1,000 every 2 weeks. It's just not feasible. But complain, and you just asked to be terminated. You open your mouth at Pound Town, and you might get something put in it that you don't like. It's salty. It's gross. It throbs. We all get a picture of what it is. But you're not supposed to talk about it. NPC for life is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to show up Monday morning at work, tell everybody about how fabulous your weekend was, when you know all you did was sit in the dark, turn off the lights, sit there, and pretend that you're not dying inside. Pretend that you're not clinically depressed at work. Pretend that everything was fine this weekend and that you're ready to start back up, motivated and willing to go. The amount of sadness and panic and I don't know what other feelings to call it, hopelessness in this society is what we all feel. But as an NPC, you are not allowed to speak those lines. In fact, this week, I was told that we're not allowed to call the sales department sales. They have to dress it up. Like putting lipstick on a pig. You got to dress it up because it looks ugly when you call it sales. It looks disgusting when McDonald's can't make enough fries. You may be working the fryolator all day long, sweating like a pig, looking like a pig, smelling like a pig, but you still have to put on your stupid little uniform and wear your name tag because that's all you are to them. They don't care about you. You're the human livestock that keeps corporate America running every single day. And if you don't like it, well, there are no options. There's Taco Bell or whatever other cheap knockoff of Taco Bell is right across the street. You can't stop eating garbage in America because you are garbage. So you get you get what you put into the system. In fact, this week I was talking to one of my acquaintances who happens to work in another state who does sales, and she said, why do they keep hiring these people? Like she was pleading with me. It's like, why do they keep hiring these people at McDonald's? Look at that guy, IQ 85, high school dropout, has no idea what they're doing, and all you're asking them to do is work the fryolator. But no, can't find anyone better. So you keep hiring the same person over and over again, and it's not limited to McDonald's. It's everywhere. People are tuned out. They don't care. They're holding on to jobs that they know don't care about them. Because if a job cared about you, at least it would feed you. Talking point number 2. They told us follow your passion, but forget to mention your passion now has a subscription fee. Every creative dream got turned into a side hustle. Every side hustle turned into unpaid overtime. Late capitalism doesn't murk your soul fast. It bleeds it slowly and calls it productivity. Wow, that's pretty dark, ChatGPT. Even I wasn't expecting that one. But again, one of my most popular videos of the past 30 days is passion for pennies. People don't understand why corporations want passion in the workplace. They want motivation. They want innovation. And all you have are NPCs. You can't hire those people anymore because they don't exist. No one is thriving in this economy. No matter how much they tell us that it's booming. The only thing that's booming is when Fleece comes up to you in the morning, pulls down your tidy whities and tells you, whispers in your ear, this is the booming, booming, booming economy. And you're like, oh my God, Fleece, get it over with. Let's do this the easy way, one time. And he says, there's no such gear. It's hard all the time. And you wonder, how much more of this can you take? How much more depression and sadness and smiling through your tears, right? Passion in the workplace does not exist among the proletariat. The only thing that exists out there is fear. And fear is what this economy runs on. You fear that you're not going to get a paycheck. You fear when the government's going to start back up. You fear how many protesters today are going to get beaten up, or how many are not going to go home tonight because they're going to get arrested. This economy is running on fear and piss. That's it. There's nothing real. We're not going on lavish vacations. We're not saving for retirement. All you're doing is waiting for that one day when your life force finally fails you and you fall face first into the mud. And that's your retirement. Eat the mud and you slowly drift away back to baby Jesus so you can be reincarnated and start the journey all over, being conceived behind a Taco Bell by Johnny Sixpack with Susie Rottencrotch, looking around like she doesn't know where she's at. Talking point number 3. We grew up thinking the NPCs were the background characters. Turns out it's us. We clock in, we smile, we repeat dialogue about grind culture, financial freedom, while the real players cash out upstairs. The system doesn't need you to think. It just needs you to keep reloading. That's it. That's what happens to you every Monday morning at Pound Town. You don't so much show up for work. You just reload for another 40 hours of mind-numbing boredom with that passionate smile that you have on your face every morning when you reload into a crummy job that you can't afford to work. And that's the worst part. We can't afford to work these jobs. When someone across from you at a job interview, let's say Winco, for beeps and giggles, right? Let's say you're interviewing at Winco. You're a middle-aged person and the manager says it's 16 bucks an hour. And you think to yourself, is he kidding? Does he expect me to laugh? No, he expects you to be grateful for the opportunity to work a job you can't afford to work. And remember, you better be grateful every single minute that you're there, unable to afford to go to that job, afford anything to eat, or be able to find shelter at that price point. But again, you're part of the family. And you wonder, how do these people do this? They do it with passion. That's the way they do it. The truth is, the game was rigged before you even logged in. They told you to find your purpose, but forgot to mention it only counts if it makes profit. So we keep respawning in fluorescent lighting, clocking in like obedient pixel, praying for a patch update that never comes. Maybe the real rebellion isn't quitting. It's glitching on purpose. Because the second you stop acting like an NPC, the system starts to lag. And that's when you finally know you're real. Let me break it down to you people. You will never be real until you're part of them. The rich elite. The people making the decisions and telling you how great your life is. While your breakfast every morning is 2 fistfuls of dirty mud and you lick your mouth and you tell yourself it's caviar. Because that's all you are. Until you get to become the exploiter, you will have to live in a system that you're going to have to pretend that you're okay. Toxic positivity is going to have to be something you're going to learn to tell yourself even while you're taking a dump. You're going to spread open your legs, look in there and say, boy, that's some beautiful turds. That's how low our lives are. There is nothing to look forward to in them. There is nothing to remember. There are no good memories. There is no positive future. There's the now. Respawn at work, and after work, go to your next job or go home and power down. And be ready to respawn at 8 o'clock with that smile from ear to ear. Because your boss expects you to smile while you're bent over. Because if you're not, then you're not a team player. And as my manager at Walmart always said, if you're not smiling, you're not happy to be here, then he doesn't want you working here. Could you imagine if that's something that you had to sign at every job in America? That you had to, regardless of how you felt, you're required to pretend that you wanted to be there every single day. And it's an awful sensation. And I've talked to hundreds of people on this topic. Unless you're rich, you're not happy. Because it's impossible to feel anything inside while you're figuring out how you're not going to starve today.